power. Every core computers now have primary control of critical vehicle functions.
Peace, 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 and welcome to the Think Tank. Shifting perspectives tonight. So, before we get started, I'm gonna let the stream, let it flow, let it start up for a little bit here, for a few minutes. And in the meantime, I have some tea that's steeping, so I'm gonna go ahead and go do that, go finish up making my tea. And I'm gonna come back and get started. So let me get this. So let me get everything situated. I'm gonna let the beats play. See if all right, commands are working. Pin that. And then do a be right back message. Why is, oh. Do that. So now it should be good. Oh, wait, whoa. Come on now. All right, here we go. Smooth that up. Let me just do a test to make sure it's coming through on this end. No, it's not. Oh, this isn't on. What? It was on before I went live. All right, so let me try this again. Just make sure everything is right. Of course not. So I'm probably gonna have to restart the stream. No. I think we might be good. Hold on. All right. Thank you. We're good. Haven't streamed in a few days, or probably almost a week, if not a week now. So getting back to, getting the feet wet and getting everything situated correctly and comfortable. So, like I said, I'll be right back. I'm gonna grab some tea, or finish making my tea, and yeah. So where should I put this? This is gonna get in my way. Chat. I guess for now I'll put it here. So yeah, I'll be right back. Enjoy the vibes while I'm gone. Almost forgot about this. of some thoughts, ideas, and concepts that may not have crossed your mind before in life. But after tonight, you won't only think about what I present, but you'll be thinking about a lot more. Pastel Pain, welcome, welcome. Alright, I'm gonna bring this down just a bit more. Maybe a hint more. I want it to be like really, really low. Alright, so welcome to Shifting Perspectives, the think tank. Now I have everything written out here. I made it into a Google Docs document for easy readability on my half. So I will be referencing, the screen here. Now this isn't structured totally formatted like my book. I don't know what happened to my cam there for a second, but this isn't structured in a complete polished book format like my book, My Greatest Contribution to the Balance of the World, which is linked in my description below. And you might see the link pop up in the chat if you're interested. This is what I'm presenting here is kind of like a continuation, but it won't be put into book form. At least I don't think so. I would have to add more to this because the book I think is 38 pages or 42 pages. I forget what the final count was. Right now this document is 7 pages. Once it's reformatted to the sizing and everything of the book, it would probably come out to from 7 to maybe 10 or 11 pages. So it's not really something I would want to put out as a book. I could, especially in digital format, would probably work best. But yes, print to order is available. Link in the description. My Greatest Contribution to the Balance of the World. Some of the things I touch on in here stems from this book. So if what I say, if anything, tonight sparks a deeper interest into my perspective, I would highly suggest, and I guess you could call it self-promo, but I would highly suggest you get the book and read. Not only for yourself, but there will be things in here that you will be able to share with the people that you love and care for. So yes, let's continue on from My Greatest Contribution to the Balance of the World, Shifting Perspectives. This is once again the think tank, so let us begin. My mission tonight is not to get you to agree with me or see things my way. My mission is to shift your perspective from seeing life through a narrow, fogged up, smudgy lens to seeing the big picture in super max 360 degree ultra high definition. So that is my mission. Now, to start off, we're gonna dip our toes into the think tank and just test the waters, going very, ease our way in, very light before we fully dive all the way in. So I hope y'all can swim if you're here live now watching, or if you come across the replay. I'm getting a message from YouTube. Hopefully everything is good, but I'm getting a buffering message. Don't know why, because I never had this happen before, but we're gonna work through it. Yes, this is a sink or swim situation that we're going into. So many are called, few are chosen. Those who are chosen choose themselves. If you chose yourself to be here after I put the call out, thank yourself. So yes, let us begin. Now, When I say many are called, but few are chosen, and those who are chosen choose themselves, that is a deeply ingrained motto that I live by. Where should I start? How should I say this? It kind of perplexes me how I don't even know if I should go down that road. Just you know what? I'm kind of going to touch on this in the presentation. So let me not get ahead of myself. But long story short, what I was kind of going to allude to was the engagement. This first question that I'm going to present, and this is all question format, hence the think tank. It's like question and my perspective on it. So the first question here, I would have loved to have seen, multiple people in the live and active and interested in this information. I know there's going to be people who come afterwards, family, whatever the case may be, and try to bring it up, discuss it, talk about it, whatever the case may be. But yeah, if you're not here, you're not getting much out of me for about what's about to unfold, 'cause at the end of this, I'm gonna be open to any questions that I can answer to the best of my ability. Like if there was, what exactly did you mean by such XYZ, or so and so that you said, whatever. I'm willing to answer, and be open, share the energy, exchange the energy, and have this connection. But if people, watch a day from now, 2 days from now, a week from now, oh yeah, I like the part where you said XYZ, but then you said, I didn't really understand what you meant by that. So can you, nope, nope, no elaboration, no further detail. Should have been here when the call went out. So with that being said, let's get into it. Now, when I presented my book, I did a live stream, kind of pretty much read through it, and I had video clips and stuff like that to go along with it. And it came out to be, I think, almost 2 hours long. So, this, again, being only 7 pages, probably gonna be a half hour, I think, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. There is a lengthy section in here, but let's begin. So again, going into how I would have loved to have had multiple people in here for this first question, to get get some activity going in the chat, get the brain waves in effect, see what's on y'all's minds. But I came in fully prepared that very well may be 0 people watching. So I am appreciative of you, Pastel Pain. Thank you. That being said, let's start. So, what came first, the chicken or the egg? Let's think about it. What came first, the chicken or the egg? So, when you just sit and think about it, you can't have an adult chicken without there being an egg first, right? Without there being a chick that grows and matures into an adult chicken. But at the same time, you can't have an egg without there already having been an adult chicken to lay the egg, or hen, whatever. I don't know if I'm using the wrong terminology, but chicken for layman's terms. So picture this: it's complete separate sides of the world, ends of the world, sides of the world, whatever. I'm gonna get into the globe and flat Earth and the maps and everything next. So hold tight. Complete different polar opposite sides of the world. You drop an egg, bloop. You drop a chicken, bloop. Which one is gonna survive? The chicken, the adult, because the egg needs the adult to nest on it, to keep it warm, to bring it to the point of where it can hatch. Then the adult then has to, raise it and care for it. So how could the egg come first if there's nothing to raise it, nothing to teach it, nothing, to care for it? But how could the chicken come first if it has to come from an egg? Next question is, we've all heard that one. What came first, the chicken or the egg? How about this? What came first, the baby or the adult? Let's think about it. Once again, you can't have an adult without having a baby that grows, matures into an adult. But you can't have a baby without having an adult to give birth to it. So which one came first? Again, polar opposite sides, ends of the world. Bloop. Drop a baby. Bloop. Drop an adult. Who's gonna survive? The adult. Now, this kind of touches into religion and genesis of how man and woman were created in, the adult form. But we're only taught about just two people, just Adam and Eve. It was just them. So, if you ask me, I don't know the exact way to word it, the answer to it, but I'm gonna use like gaming terminology here, because then I'll get deeper into games, how they relate to and reflect on life. But if you ask me, there was a spawning of humans. Don't bring any evolution. Started with single cells in the water. They turned into tadpoles and fish and grew legs and crawled out of the water and started to not lay eggs and branched off, became mammals, and eventually got an ape-like form being, and that matured and evolved into us, and now we're here. No, I'm not buying it. Because if that's the case, we would have seen some type of clear evolution by now. Even if it was like something that was started 100, 200, 300, 400, 1,000 years ago, there would have been something. We would have seen apes that were slightly more human-like, or, closer to us, or different things in nature we would have seen by now. But ever since Charles Darwin, birds are still the birds. He's studying all the birds in Madagascar or wherever. I think he was in Madagascar, and it's like birds are still birds, beak, wings, eyes, legs. It's like, why did evolution just stop? If evolution is real, and people, it takes millions of years, you wouldn't be able to notice a difference. Right. Yes. Definitely something greater than us is involved, and I will be getting to that too later into this presentation. So again, if you ask me, there was a spawning of mature beings, because you can't start life from, you can't just populate the world. Oh, let me just put a bunch of babies into the world and they're gonna grow and they're gonna survive for hundreds of years, thousands of years, tens of thousands of years, and become great civilization of the world, starting from a bunch of babies. None of them would survive. So it had, this current form that we are in, had to have started in a mature state. Now, how that happened, that I haven't gotten to yet. I haven't gotten that deep and clear into my understanding of exactly how. But, the Bible it shows there's a lot of truth in it, but it's wrapped in a lot of allegory, symbolism, fantasy. So Genesis does touch on, and I think it clearly, when you read between the lines, it clearly touches on a spawning of mature beings, or creation of mature beings to start life. But it's given to you in such a way to make you think that it's like, oh wow, it's such an amazing thing, and only 2 people started everything. Wow. But I don't feel, I was gonna say think, but I'm on a level of feeling on this one. I don't feel that that's right and exact in my reality. So, next question. Where did language come from? Let's think about it. Language. One thing I can say for sure is that, and this is just reason and logic from me just sitting and thinking on these things and mapping it out, analyzing, and it just makes sense. So language. There is no way that one person just woke up one day, even if, caveman, went from ooh to hand, and one person, and then all of a sudden, it is like a game of telephone, and everyone, but there's no, miscommunications, and everyone who was currently living at that time in that area, hand, yeah, and everyone just clicked and got it. And then what did this guy the chosen one, did he cup nose, like, no, there's no way. So now that's an individual. Now let's think about a group. Even if there was a group, yeah, there's no way. The chances of survival are so slim, especially in the further you go back, because we've evolved with technology and comfort. We've evolved into comfort. If there's any type of evolution, there's an evolution of comfort. So just imagine how hard life would have been to survive. Like, if one of them got sick with something that some disease that they couldn't heal from, it's over. The chances are done. So that whole 2 people thing, I ain't buying it. I used to be in the church, but I got my refund. I'm not spending any more. So now let's move on to a group. Say there's a group, a round table, bunch of people just decided, all right, we're gonna start a language. And I'm just using English for example, even though it's like the youngest language. We could think in terms of Chinese, Mandarin, Japanese, Spanish, French, whatever. That's not really what matters. It's how language came to be. So say there was a group of people, again, just thinking what system was in place? How could it possibly have been made in such a way? Let's imagine that America, because we're staying with English, we're going to stay with the 13 colonies, the 13 original colonies. So, very small piece of the map in terms of America, how we see it now, or the U.S. So let's say 13 colonies, got a round table of people. There's people living all throughout the colonies, but there's a round table of people in Washington, D.C. or Virginia or wherever the original capital was. I don't think it was D.C. I think it was Virginia or something. I don't know. Don't really care either. But so let's say we have a group of people, a group of guys in DC decide we're going to create English. So they start making, the language and everything. But with, going back to the game of telephone, like, how did people from that 10-person group go out, expand, spread the language for people to fully understand, fully agree with, fully accept, without any type of discrepancies, or what seems to be no type of discrepancies? So again, just as I feel there was a great spawning of life, of us, of people, humans, I believe that language came as a patch, an update. And one of the reasons I say that is because you can go through, do your own research, like the Younger Dryas era and these different times, different cataclysms and collapses of civilization and resets that occurred. And then all of a sudden, it's like, did you ever stop to think where your language came from? Like, who created it? Who created English? Is it a who or is it a what? How was it given? How was it disseminated? Oh, all over the globe at this point. Agreed upon, understood. Like, if you ask me, it's either, we learn through word of mouth, teaching, in this day and age and things like of that sort, stories and whatnot. But again, like, how could that, a full language, not just a story of someone's life, but what it takes in order to form those stories and create sentences and dialogue and instructions and all these different things, rules and laws? Where did it come from? Where's the source? Once again, if you ask me, it was a patch. It was an update after one of these resets that occurred. The people who were respawned, I guess you could say, again, I'm talking in layman's terms, like gaming terms, with that whether it was the second, some people say this is the 7th iteration of humans on this earth. Some people say 5. There's different numbers, but and it's based off of the resets that have gone on. So who knows? I don't know for sure, but what makes sense to me, because one person starting language doesn't add up. A group of people, a round table starting language, just doesn't add up. What adds up, what makes sense to me, and as far-fetched as it sounds, but none of us know the answer, so anyone thinking, oh, cuckoo, he's crazy, you're a fucking idiot. So I have no bounds on my mind to shape and make sense of this reality and what this is. So I'll go off what you may feel as, to be the deep end, but it's shallow waters for me. So if you ask me, it's been respawns of life, There's been patch updates to this program. So, and again, these are all just my ideas, perspectives, to not make you agree with me, but to think. Like you may come up with a whole completely different idea, concept, and theory for where language came from, how it spread across the world and was accepted and understood, and all that would be great. That's the real essence of what I'm trying to get through and spark that thought, not just to take in, but to go out on your own and find the answers for yourself. All right, so moving on, the world map. Is it totally real, partly real, or totally made up? Let's think about it. The map that you know of I'm gonna come back to this, but I'm just gonna show it right now. This is the map that that we know of, right? Right. So why, in that case, is this what we're taught in school? Why is this only seen in schools or some places of education or government buildings and stuff of that sort? Now with that, this is the United Nations logo. The United Nations, where all nations congregate and meet to make world decisions and have all these worldly discussions. If this is what we're taught in school at an early age, why is this being used by the United Nations? Why don't they use a globe? Oh, it's a globe flattened out. Yes, I know that. I know. Why don't they use a globe? If that's what we're taught, that's what this is. This is what we're here on. It's defined. It's definite. You're learning it in school. This is what you need to know. It's a globe. It's a round ball. So why is this a flat map representation? Why are maps, monitors in airports, the big boards where you see your flight times and everything, even the screens, the monitors on your screen are, and when you're on the plane and you have the TV, you can go to the map and see like where you're at and everything in the mid-flight. Why is, everything is represented as flat? Google Maps, you go on your phone, it's flat. Why are we taught the globe and then made to basically say fuck it once we become adults? Why is it so important to teach a globe model to children in their most key developmental years? But then it's just like, that's what we're on, but go and follow this instead. Go by this. So when was the last time you used a globe model for referencing? Why is it that globes are seen on a daily basis only in schools during the key years? And I touched on how, government, courthouses might have them, libraries and stuff like that. But primarily only in schools during the key years of mental, emotional, social, and learning development. Some might say, it just makes things easier to flatten out the globe. Okay, if that's how smart and efficient people are, where do we see this happening anywhere else in life where something is clearly defined as being what it is, yet changes are made in such a way that what's presented is completely different from the clearly defined version. Why is the biggest thing we can experience in life, the world itself, being manipulated and you just accept it? Because someone else gave it to you in such a way that you think your life makes sense. But what's really going on is the life they shaped for you is being ran on unconscious autopilot. Let that simmer for a few seconds. Again, you're in school, 7, 8, 9 years old. This is it. This is it. This is what you need to know. That's what it looks like. But you start traveling or driving a car or whatever the case may be, all of a sudden, this is it. This is what you need. This is what you need to follow. This is what you need to be looking at. So what happened to this? That's what I want to know. What happened? Why is this even taught then? I mean, I know why, but I'm not gonna go completely into that. That's a thing, that I want y'all to think about for yourself. Going along with the map. Oh, before I go, so when I said, is it totally real, partly real, or totally made up? This right here, I'll close that off. This right here, let me get my pen to mark up, is what has been given to us. This, look at all the blue on this map, all the water. How do we know this is it? How do we know it's not this? Huh? How do we know? Have you been out to see the whole entire map, the whole world? How do we know it's not this? How do we know it's even what we see in white? How do we know that that's what it is? Have any of y'all been out to see, or you just know what it is from NASA and your government and all that, right? Let me tell you something else. With this, how you see the map now, when you're in an airplane, they have predetermined, pre-mapped, pre-planned flight paths. And even, they have route A, B, C. They may have, I don't know how many, but they have alternate routes. Just like when you open your phone, you go on Google Maps, you put in the location, you're gonna get various routes that you can choose from. Usually like 2 to 3 routes that you can choose from. Planes operate in the same way, but so with predetermined routes, what you're seeing when you look out the window, you do see some land and everything. You're seeing what I don't want to use the word they like in spooky Illuminati or like anything like that, but you're seeing what they are allowing you to see. How do we know there's no other lands beyond what we have been given? None of us know. And how do they even know? The people who, this person is a cartographer, he sailed the world, and then technology and satellites, imaging and all. How do you know? NASA, you can look it up, has painters, graphic artists, graphic designers, all types of artists that make their marble, the globe. You can look up NASA's globe throughout time and you'll see completely different iterations of the globe. So again, all of what you're being taught of and told of from the most advanced satellite imaging of the Earth How do you know? Think about it. Because if you ask me, there's a lot more land that is being accessed by people, that is being hidden, kept away from us, that is rich in a lot of things, in resources, just rich in resources. And I'll just touch real quick, because I mentioned NASA. Rocketry. If you didn't know, rockets are classified, or can be considered advanced weapon systems if they're equipped with a large enough explosive payload, which travels over a certain amount of distance. So I just thought I'd slide that in there. It's not too much in relation to what's going on here, but it is something that I could speak on further in terms of, the ice wall and my perspective of the purpose for these rockets and the rush to Mars. But yeah, it's no going outer space. They're not going up, they're going over. And rocketry is the most efficient way for long distance travel. So when you think about it, right now, like let's say there's like this little island down here that I drew in, that like the first one you see down at the bottom. Like think of how long it would take, how inefficient it would be to travel by ship or even by plane. Because then you have to think of, fuel being on the island to refuel the plane, and so they're probably gonna have to have a whole different plane that just brings fuel to the island, all that. So it's like, if you think about it in such a way where there's alternative fuels, again, resources, energy, different things being used that, again, we don't have access to, it becomes very plausible that the goal of these rockets, again, are not to go to space, because did it in 1969, walked on the moon, but never went back again. Because why? Oh, the technology is far better. Why not? Because it never happened. So yeah, there's no going to space. There's no going to, and I'm not saying, realize that I'm not saying outer space, because there's no such thing as outer space. There's just space. How can you have space outside of space? It's just space. So if you can say, if you do believe in outer space, then we're already in outer space. But we're in space. So yes, my theory and my reality, what makes sense, what's logical to me, is that there is much more land being kept from us. There's a lot of confusion going on, a lot of misinformation, a lot of trickery, and just people being led astray into a comfortable reality that's not even theirs. Think for yourself, come up with your own reality, even if you think it's crazy. At least it's yours. So, moving on. Still in line with the Earth here. The Antarctica Treaty. If you don't know about it, well, first I'll pose the question: why have countries been feuding and going to war all throughout modern history, yet all of the countries were able to agree on the Antarctica Treaty, making most of it inaccessible to everyone without special clearance? What's there? What's been going on for decades now while life goes on everywhere else? Let's think about it. The Antarctica Treaty denies, again, anyone without special clearances, military personnel, high class, high level governmental officials and whatnot, So yes, it's so why is that? Why can't we go to Antarctica? Why can't we go to the ice wall? Why can't we explore the ice wall and, you know, go deeper into different areas? And do know that there's bases up there, like military bases from various countries. You can look it up and watch some interesting documentaries. And that goes down a rabbit hole of, I don't want to say his name because it might be a trigger word, but the hitman from, what was it, World War II, I think, or World War One. I'm not good with history, dates, holidays, any of that bullshit. That's what it is to me. So yeah, the hitman, that, you know, the bases and stuff. And South America, there's another theory that he, along with other people, went down there or went up there and survived the war. So yeah, that was just something I wanted to slide in there. The Antarctica Treaty, and the fact that, again, there's wars, there's feuding, there's disagreements all throughout the world amongst all these countries, but yet, just magically, everyone can decide and agree in peace to not allow any people to go to Antarctica. That doesn't, like, raise any questions, any concerns, anything. Also, no, talking about feuds and wars and stuff like that, that is not just, oh, America doesn't like this place, we're gonna go to war, and then boom, it just happens. No. If you don't know, there's rules of engagement. The higher ups, the people who you don't see, I'm not talking about the faces of the countries, the representatives, the puppets, the main puppets of the country. I'm talking about the people you don't see. They meet in a forum like the United Nations, and, you know, country representatives, or not the representatives, the country controllers. They meet and they talk about and plan out the wars that are occurring, that have gone on, that are going on, that will be going on, because it is one of the most profitable, what's the word for it? One of the most profitable, I have a blank, but I'm pretty sure you get where I'm going. Just one of the most profitable things for a government is actually going to war. You can look it up, how the numbers work. I'm not an expert on it. I have an understanding of it. I don't overstand it to where, you know, I'm an expert in it. I can just give you the whole rundown, but I've gone into it, so I have an understanding, but I'm not enough to where, that's why I always say, go do your own research. You know, I could tell you 50 lies with one truth, and you take it all as the truth instead of going to find out for yourself. So do your own research. Next, why do entertainers, athletes, actors, singers, influencers, etc., make upwards of tens of millions of dollars a year, yet doctors, military, teachers, and more are lucky to see $30,000 to $100,000 in a year? Let's think about it. Why are these people who simply put on performances launched to the forefront of importance when it comes to compensation? None of them are saving lives like doctors do, dealing with threats and possible frontline warfare like military personnel, or developing the next generation in schools. Why are all of these being overlooked? Has that never, like, am I the only one? I can't be. Why? Why is it that an athlete can tear their Achilles tendon, who's making $35 million, he's on a $35 million a year, 4-year contract, max deal, tears his Achilles, he has to go see a doctor to save his career, who makes, we'll say for NBA doctors, maybe $250 a year, $250,000 a year. I could be, even if they were making $1 million as an NBA specialist, doctor, surgeon, that's nothing compared to what the athlete is making, the performer, the one putting on an act, putting on a show, shooting the ball, running up and down the court, and dunking and passing the ball, kicking a ball, getting paid tens of millions. But without that doctor, their contract would be over, they'd be cut, they'd be thrown out the league. Why is there such little value in the ones who matter most? Now, this is a touchy subject, but guess what? I don't care. This is something that could get me canceled. Guess what? I don't care. This is touchy, and I know it. And I have people in my family, throughout my family's history, who are, who fit into this group. So, after all I've said up to this point in this little section, so this is why, for the military in particular, in my opinion, if you serve, you're a damn fool. Yes, if you serve in the military, you are a damn fool. Why? You're signing up to potentially give your life for a country that needs you, that loves you. It doesn't. Yet you're being extremely disproportionately compensated for your service and life. And for what? To potentially develop PTSD, be prescribed and have to rely on medications, lose body parts, not receive the proper service and assistance you should from the Veterans Association. And we're told they're protecting us and our freedom from who? Or from what? When in your life has a country invaded the USA and set up shop? Never. Yet the US has invaded and set up shop all over the world. Why? I have never in my life felt threatened by a foreign country. There has never been any imminent threat to my life. And there's, it's because the military is protecting you, dummy. Is it? Who? There's been no attempts of infiltration. There's been, I guess, like Pearl Harbor, they weren't even trying to infiltrate and set up shop. It was an attack. There's been no attacks. There's been no potentials. There's been no interceptions of any type of missiles or anything heading towards us. Where's the threat? Foreign countries don't give a fuck about us. Trust me, they would be fine and happy if America would just pick up and leave, as they should. If you ask me, no reason to be everywhere in the world having hands in other countries' businesses and other people's, other cultures you don't even live, you don't even respect, you don't even acknowledge, but you go over there and assert your authority. What authority? Who gave it to you? How is it the fuck is going on in this world? So yeah, another thing to think about: disproportion of value for who deserves it and who matters versus the agenda. Because there is a reason why the entertainers are being paid these exorbitant amounts of money. And the plan has been in effect for a long time. It's still in effect. And right now it's like sports are dying. Everything with a beginning has an end. Sports are dying. Like viewership ratings and all. It's a mess. I don't watch professional sports. Only time I watch sports is when I'm watching one of my favorite streamers reacting to sport videos, because he has like a license or whatever deal with the NFL, so he's allowed to do reaction videos. And that is the only, and it's not even that I'm here, all right, because I could just pull up any game and see the highlights for myself or watch it live. I'm there for him, for his energy, for his entertainment. I don't give a fuck about the sports, man. It's bullshit. It's so much riggery, so much cheating. So like, as soon as sports betting became widely popular, that was it. That was the downfall of sports. There's too much manipulation in sports because money is behind it now for anyone to potentially get. It's not just the athletes, the owners, the personnel, the coaches and all that, the staff. Like, anyone can make money in sports now. You don't have to be an athlete. You can just bet. And speaking of the athletes, they bet too. And there's a clip of, I think it's Draymond Green from the Warriors, who, it was like 10, I don't know, I'm gonna say 10 seconds, 12 seconds left or something in the game, maybe a minute, I don't know. But it was almost the end of the game, and you could see him on the sideline. The cameraman had a perfect shot. And I think, a lot of this, maybe not this, it could be, maybe not, but I think a lot of certain shots that are captured in media are planned for different reasons, for those who see it and overstand to actually, and read between the lines and all those things. So there's a clip where he's like, there's a 4-point spread or something like that. You can see him mouthing it. He's like, what? I'm just using that as a placeholder. I don't know exactly what he said, but in terms of betting, he was like, there's a 4-point spread, 4-point spread. Like, you can see, he's like, all right. And he goes out and like makes sure that the winning bet, the high payout bet or whatever, didn't play out, didn't happen. So there's many interviews you can look up, you can find of past, former athletes who talk about different times where a teammate, being a younger athlete going into the playoffs. I forget who it was, but there's a young teammate who was balling, and he was on like the Bobcats or something like that. The team they were on, it was a lesser known, less popular team. I'm just gonna say Bobcats for a placeholder, or the Pelicans or Hornets. I don't know, but let's say it was them and Boston playing Eastern Conference Finals in order to make it to the NBA championship against like the Lakers or something. We'll say the Lakers, a popular team. Then we have Boston. So there's this young guy balling out, ready to, finish off, ready to beat Boston, get to the Lakers, have his chance at the championship. He was told by one of the veterans, chill out, young fella. This isn't our year. People don't want to see us play the Lakers in the finals. They want to see big market teams. They want to see Boston. He's like, we're sitting this one out. Essentially, he's like, we're going to take the L. We're going to throw this series because it's not aligned for us for it to be our time. So there's been several cases like that, stories that I've come across, and people, making insider bets and trading and all these different things going on, players, referees being involved, missed calls and manipulating the game and all that, being paid off and all types of stuff. It's so crooked. Me going back to calling people a fool, you are a damn fool if you're still a fan of sports and like think it's real and actually are entertained by all that foolishness and fakery, you're a damn fool. So let's move on. Do you believe in reincarnation? Have you not yet realized that you have already reincarnated multiple times? Let's think about it. You are not just you. You are the current representation of the energy of your parents, their parents, and so on. It took your parents' energy to create you, and their parents' energy to create them. You can call yourself a man or a woman, but in essence, you're energy. If you feel that this world is against you, if you feel trapped, or you see this as a prison, word of advice, don't come back. Simple. And what I mean by that is don't have children and put the essence of your existence back into this cycle as another version of you and your entire lineage. If you've already had children, realize that they are you. They are your parents, your grandparents, and beyond, all the way back to the originally manifested physical form of the energy that has been recycled for eons. Another word of advice for parents, if you haven't realized by now, treat your children how you would treat yourself and your parents. How about that? How about instead of seeing them as children, you treat them as you and your parents? I'm pretty sure there'll be some vast changes being made. Speak to them the same way you would speak to your grandparents. Try that. Anyone who's a parent out there, tomorrow for the entire day, speak to your child not as your child. Speak to them as if they're your grandparents. All the respect, all the appreciation you gave your grandparents, you know? Listening to them. So, speak to them the same way you would speak to your grandparents, realizing that they are them. They are your grandparents. When you speak to your children, you're speaking to yourself and everyone who came before you. So how about we end the bossiness, control, punishment, barking orders, etc., and start treating yourself in the form of your children with more respect, appreciation, and love. You know, and I'm gonna break down respect, appreciation, and love because that's what it takes to truly love. You can't just love someone. Love, it doesn't work like that. It's not real. If you just tell someone, I love you, it's not real. You have to respect first to be able to appreciate, and then you'll be able to love. So let's break that down. Once you can fully respect others unconditionally, for example, you don't like that someone smokes, but can respect that it's their life and not yours, you can then free yourself from what you made to be negative blocks, which will enable you to see the whole of that person and begin to appreciate them instead of focusing on one thing that you don't like about a person. You want to change, you think you have the power to change, even though you're not their creator, or like maybe your child, but what I mean is, you know, the grand creator. You're not the creator, but you think you have the right to tell a being who's having their own unique experience in what we call life. You just feel like you have the right to put your hand in and, no, I don't like that you're doing that. Do this because I think it's better. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. So, respect is the first step. Now, as more aspects become clear to appreciate, so now we're in the appreciation phase. Once you can respect unconditionally a person's life and their reality, then you can appreciate the whole of who they are, who and what they are. As more aspects become clear to appreciate and the appreciation gets stronger, you'll learn to truly love them. That's when love is manifested. Respect, appreciation, love. Your life is only as difficult and negative as you make it. Respectfully, I don't give a fuck about how anyone lives their life, whether it be my mother, my sisters, my brother Rob, aunts, uncles, cousins, etc. But with the way your psyche has been manipulated for you, you probably just got triggered in some way and focused on the I don't give a fuck instead of all of the reason, the logic, and keyword respectfully given beforehand. By me not caring about what others do, how or when they do it, focusing on one or a few things to trap my mind into, I can simply observe the whole picture with respect, knowing that what they're doing is for and on them, not me. If it's something I see as bad, wrong, etc., that's for me to observe in my reality and apply it to my life in a positive way. If I knew someone who smoked crack, I wouldn't tell them to stop, even though it's something I'd never do. I'd respect their decision and observe them as motivation to never fall into that lifestyle, turning what I could focus on as a negative between us and trying to draw them away from their reality into mine, into a positive that I keep to myself. I'll let them go on living how they want to live, doing what is fulfilling their unique individual experience. So respectfully, I don't give a fuck what you do, how you do it, you know? But through that respect, again, respect, appreciation, love, it's because I don't give a fuck and so much that I'm able to fully respect and appreciate and then love, even if it's love from a distance, which I have for a lot of people, because there's very few people around me that I let into my life at this point. So there's a lot of people who are loved from a distance at this point in my life, but it's all stems from respect. I never think of the concept or the word, think the speaker or anything. When love becomes an idea, it starts to manifest as an idea, as an emotion, as a feeling or anything, I know that it's stemming from respect. Always respect. So now, getting close to the end here. I think we're a little bit over, more than halfway. But this is something that I just wanted to throw in before we get into the deeper section that's coming up next. This is something that I find interesting, and it kind of relates to the fact of, you know, you can call yourself a man, you can call yourself a woman, but in essence, you are energy. So let's talk about the attraction to dominant features that may be from the same gender. Attraction to dominant features that may be from the same gender. Let's think about it. So for example, a man being attracted to a woman from a dominant feature that turns out to be so due to her father, and vice versa, you know, for women, for men and women. So it could be the eyes, lips, complexion. And, you know, of course, I'm not gonna say like some guys are ass men or some guys are titty men, whatever. I'm just speaking on, you know, outside of those two clear things that like men may find attract some men, but oh, that's the first thing they see and they're attracted. I'm talking about things that are more universal features, I guess you could say. So, for example, I'll say this, taking from my own life. I once was in a relationship where I was attracted to. I'm not only attracted to like light skinned females, like women or whatever. Like I love all kinds of shades. Like I find all women from everywhere attractive in some way. So it could be like the darkest of the dark, the palest of the pale. I've been attracted to the whole entire spectrum at some point in my life. So, but in this particular example, was once in a relationship, and one of the things that attracted me initially was her complexion. You know, fast forward, get to meeting her parents, and her complexion was the same as her father's, and her mother was a lot, like significantly darker. Not that it was like a bad thing or anything, like that she was dark or whatever. Like I have a whole range of colors in my family, from the whitest of the white to the blackest of the black. So again, I have respect, appreciation, and love for all complexions. So, but that it's like, does that mean that since I was one of the initial attracting factors was her complexion and it matched her father, like sure, her mother could have been, her mother's mother could have been light skin or whatever, but I'm talking about from the direct step down or a direct step up, you know, going from her to her parents. It's like that feature that I was attracted to came from the male side. So does that mean I was attracted to a male dominant feature? Or, you know, like that's where the whole thing about man, woman, like it doesn't matter. We're energy. And I'm not trying to say that to push like bisexualism or anything like that. So what I mean to say is this: stop and think and realize like the fact that in life, it very well may be that you didn't even realize of different connections and relationships that you've had, like intimacy and things of that nature. You very well may have been attracted to that person because of a dominant feature that they received from the same sex as you. So again, like a man, maybe, you know, and there's been women who I've known. I can't say that I've been in a it's not like a clear one in my head, but there's been women that I've known who I'll, you know, meet and see whatever, and then see their parents, meet their parents, whatever, and it's like, damn, you got your father's face. Like the shape and different things, like jaw lines or something, like you can clearly see that, you know, you're your father's daughter, like that type of situation. So I find it very, very interesting. Just something to keep in mind and realize. It's not anything like serious in life or anything, but it's just something very interesting that I've just came to realize, the fact that, you know, we're all 50-50, but we're 50-50, but we're not. Okay, we're really 51-49. But what I'm saying is, it takes a man and a woman. 100%. There's two of them. 100 divided by 2 is 50%. But well, right now I'm 51% male, 49% female. Is how I see it. Because I am my mother. I'm a man, but I can't say, oh, there's no female in me. There's, you know, that we still make estrogen, women still make testosterone, you know, all these different hormones and stuff like that. So we are both one and the same, and just a slight percentage that enables us to express ourselves as one or the other. And even if you go into like birth and development, we all start as females. If you didn't know, like the eggs, the ovaries, those are the testicles, but they're descended. They're not up in the, and then the women, they have a extremity, you could say, but it's very, very small, but it resembles, it looks just like ours. It's just very, very small. If you know what I'm talking about, if you don't, look it up or ask around. But it's all the same. It's just a slight, minuscule difference. So now let's move on to, now we're diving in. Up to this point, we dipped our toes, then we're wading in the water. Now we're about to dive. This is gonna be, this is the lengthiest portion. And the one where I have to really say, like, open your mind right now and forget everything that you've been told. So, forget everything you've been given. Oh, I thought that was okay. Thought the music stopped. Did it? No. Okay. So, proof that all of this is being observed and manipulated by a higher source. Why is evolution and innovation necessary? We can only experience about 100 years, give or take. Let's think about it. If we are only conscious of our current existence and all live for about 100 years, why don't we just live the experience of the years, and this, for example, 1900 to 2000, that 100-year span, and nothing changes for new lives coming in? We know truly nothing of what went on centuries ago. Again, speaking about, the earth and the map and all that, were you there to experience it for yourself and currently and fully conscious of it in every detail? No. We go by what's been given to us in school, and we'll never know for certain what's to come when we pass, since we won't be here to experience it. So why all of the change? Why different time periods? Why technological advancements that we have now that our grandparents couldn't fathom? Why is all of that and more so important, and we have this need for advancement if we can't consciously come back and compare to our past experience? Why does it matter if the world ends 1,000 years from now if we won't be here to consciously experience it with clear remembrance in comparison to past experiences? Why do you care to have children and hope for them to have children and them to have children and so on, to live in this world, if there's basically a 50-50 chance that 5 generations from now could be living in a total apocalyptic world where everything is crumbling and all citizens are living in encampments riddled with diseases? But that's the potential reality that you don't see with your rose-tinted glasses, thinking, what could possibly go wrong? While the world is currently going to shit already. All we have is now. And if we were meant to be aware of all the changes, we'd all simply know, instead of entrusting unseen faces to shape the history and future. Because we don't all know, yet so much has changed and is changing, that so much has changed, is changing, and will change, I'm left to understand that it's all being observed and manipulated. It's like if you could zoom out, picture yourself being the creator of all of this, and you see a timeline of all the different periods, the medieval times and the Industrial Revolution and all these different time periods, these markers. As a creator, you're able to see and observe all of it. But us, how do we know what truly went on centuries ago? Thousands of years ago. We weren't there to experience it. But there has to be an observer, or else there would be no reason for change. We could just have a loop. It wouldn't really be a loop, because we wouldn't be able to consciously remember, just as life is now. But there could just be, like I said, for example, the year 1900 to the year 2000. It could be a little like year 2050 or something like that, just to add that extra buffer. Some people may live over 100 years or whatever. But why is it not like that? Why is it not just the one experience for everyone to experience in their own unique way? You die, that's it. Why is there so much change, so much advancement? It's because it's being observed. All of the truth of what has been going on throughout all of time is known by something. I'm not gonna say someone, by something, which could be someone, but I'm gonna say something. So this is an experiment. This is a simulation. This is a game. This is a moment. This is an experience. I don't know the creator. Maybe it's me. And that's a whole different rabbit hole to go down that I know most aren't ready for, so I'm not gonna go there. And even when I make a clear, simple sense of it, I know it still won't make sense for a reason I already know. This theory here, if I was to go into it, and I may one day, but I just know this one is probably the deepest rabbit hole, the creator theory. So, but I know I'm directly connected to the creator because I see all of this as they see it, and not just my life in this world. As I'm presenting it, I'm pretty sure you can pick up by now that I'm seeing and observing things without the blinders. Like, I'm seeing all of this and making sense of it. I know that I've been here enough times speaking on the source energy that physically manifested into all of my lineage. And so I'm the beginning of the end. I'm the only male hill of my generation with multiple sisters. I have 3 sisters from my father, and cousins. All my cousins are females, just like all my sisters. I'm the only one, even of my. So I'm the only male of my my father's children and my mother's. And I have, just sisters. In total, I have 4 sisters, and it's just me. So, yeah, I am the beginning of the end. So yes, multiple sisters and cousins, and I've already seen the next generation come in, once again, be reincarnated, and have the name dropped completely, like have the family name dropped completely. So I think that's something that only I've realized in my family, to be honest. Or maybe it's just not cared for, the family name and the legacy and things of that sort might just not be cared for at this point. In terms of continuing the family name, I'm the only one. I'm the one and only true key. But never in my life have I felt acknowledged, respected, and treated as such. And not saying I expect to be on a pedestal as the family prize, even though I hold the family jewels. little joke to sprinkle in there. If you get it, you get it. So I'm the only one with the family jewels. But all my life, I've been the person with the abundance of skill and knowledge that people would call on for favors, to fix things, to set things up, to write things up and format and edit and all these different things. People would want to know what's going on in my life, but never offer to help in any way, just get information to go gossip about. All the while, I'm giving my energy in various ways to help people. I loved helping people until I realized all of this and how truly undervalued I am. To give the bare minimum clear understanding of what I mean by that, being undervalued, is that if continuation, if family, if legacy mattered, I would have been planned out of love by mentally, emotionally, and spiritually mature adults who found, developed, and established a strong foundation together instead of created out of lust by teenagers, and both parents would have been a unit till death did them part. Let me be clear, this is not a knock to my parents or anything negative. I fully appreciate the circumstances, seeing what could be perceived as negative and applying it as a positive to my life. Had I been raised in and I don't want to say perfect, I'm going to use the term right, the traditional family, I more than likely would have reincarnated by now, aka had children, seeing the example set before me. So, if my parents, were death do them part and everything planned, fully established and everything, that's how I would have been raised and would have seen, I got to do the same thing. Got to follow in the footsteps, right? Keep the family name going. Had I been raised into that, the cycle would have continued on. And again, into who knows what, 5 generations from now, might be a fucking apocalypse. So I'm thankful to have came into this world under the circumstances that I did, because it ultimately helped me beat the game as it's been constructed for my life. Now I can count on one hand the people I see who could use a helping hand at times, and I'm willing and excited to offer it to them, and only maybe 2 or 3 people who can come to ask me for help. That's not to say no one can ask me. People have asked me directly and even through other people. And sure, I could help, but I won't. And this is where one of my favorite quotes from the movie Scarface comes into play. And many won't truly understand this, but the quote goes, "I always tell the truth, even when I lie." So what is a lie? What is the truth? What's good? What's bad? What's real? What's fake? I control and manifest my life as I see fit for me and my peace of mind to be laid down on my pillow each night. So, again, I tell the truth. I always tell the truth, even when I lie. There's been many a times that people have reached out for me and, nope, I can't do it. I'm too busy. Got other things to do. I'm going to be out of town. Meanwhile, send that message off. Let me get back to this movie. Because I'm too busy focused on me and my valuing myself instead of putting myself out there, my energy to be undervalued. So yeah, that's another reason why I don't really put myself in the places and situations with people and things like that, because really I'd rather not have to even make up anything. I'd rather just not communicate with you. Go find somebody else. I've had plenty of situations where it's like the family factor, the friend factor means free. everyone, damn near everyone who's ever asked me for anything, who I've ever helped. There's no idea, no thought, no gesture to compensate, to exchange the energy. And money is a form of energy. And the reason why I say money in particular for my assistance is because there's been several moments in my life where like someone will ask me to do something for a party or an event, flyers, whatever case may be, shirts, all these different things. And they'll be like, yeah, I'll provide you with all the supplies you need. Like that's their way of like, I'm paying you for it, when all they're doing is buying supplies and nothing's going to me. So, but that's the usual route that they take. I'll get you all the supplies, everything. I just need you to, could you do this for me? And then I'll come to the event. I'm seeing a caterer. I'm seeing a DJ. I'm seeing all types of decorations and lighting. It's like, were these friends too? Or did you pay these people that you don't even associate as close as you do with me? But you're supporting them, right? Helping their pockets, helping their life, helping put food on their table. But me, I'm the friend, I'm the family. So it's free. It should be free, right? And I don't ask. I don't do shit for anyone anymore. But when I did, I never asked, because then I already know how people, especially in my family, are on both sides. Where if I was to say something like bring up some compensation, bring up money, there would be a problem. There would be a problem plus gossip going off to other people. Could you believe he was trying to charge me? But you'll go and pay other people, and that's where a lot of this shit is backwards. It's how support should start at home, and when I say home, I mean like the closest people that are to you. Your core is where support should come from. Major shout out to my brother Rob for being an incredible, true supporter. He found out that my book was available for purchase. I've done no promo for it to let people know, like, hey, my book is available now, you can order it. He went and ordered it on his own, I guess he was out of curiosity. He clicked the link and saw my storefront, and boom, just made it happen. And he's never seen the book in person. He doesn't even live in the same state as me. Meanwhile, all of my family, well, I'm sure most of my family, but I'm sure probably all, because of the gossip factor, know that I have a book. Pretty sure I'm the first person in my family to write a book that I know of. Great feats, great expression of the power of manifestation, the power of a unique mind. Things that if I saw somebody in my family do, if I saw somebody in my family do this, I'll give them, let's celebrate, let's party, you deserve it. Me? I haven't gotten shit from my family for this. No type of true acknowledgement. Meanwhile, again, ain't none of the motherfuckers ever wrote a book in their life. Probably haven't read one in the past 5 years. It's wild. Too weighed down and locked down and unable to, because they're not creators. No one's a creator. I don't know any creators besides, that I can pull up on, that I can see in person. Outside of my brother Rob, again, who's all the way in Texas, I'm in New Jersey. It's just consumers, nothing but consumers around me. So, where are we? So this is it. I am it. Continue if you want to come back unconsciously to a world you know nothing of, that you'll know nothing of, that has changed drastically for better or worse. This energy is done playing the game and rolling the dice. When I'm out of here this time around, I'm done. That being said, I beat the game. I won. But I know the game isn't over. If anyone's familiar with Grand Theft Auto, it's basically a reimagining and construction of life. You can essentially live a life within living your life. You can live a life in a game. There's been versions where you could eat, you could work out, ride bikes, cars, helicopters, planes, go to strip clubs, take a prostitute into your your car down a back alley, and all types of things that you could do in this game. Get drunk, get high, all types of things that reflect life. So I'm at the point where I've completed the story mode, but there's side missions, hidden items, and more to be completed to finish the game 100%. So again, if anyone's familiar with Grand Theft Auto, beating the story mode only gets you, let's say, 80% with a full understanding of the game. 80% completion, but you have a full understanding of the game. That's where I'm at. And with Grand Theft Auto, there's a very high replayability rate where people like myself have gone back and played through the entire story multiple times, aka reincarnated into the game, started from scratch, started over. So I say that to say I could come back. Not all hope is lost. If anyone cares in the family, I could come back and continue the Hill name, but not unless I finish this game 100%. Meaning there's a very, very specific set of circumstances I'd have to reach before considering reincarnating, aka having children. So if there's any family here that care, it could happen, but know that my story mode is complete. Everything, again, that has a beginning has an end, including this world. No matter how much you care for it, or care for future generations to care for it, it will end. So when will you, the source energy, not the human, but your little me, my life, when will you, the source energy, once you tap into it and come to full realization, be ready to leave and return to the true you? Think about it. With that, I thank you for entering the think tank. Willingly, your perspective has been shifted in some way, some shape, some form, some fashion. Again, my mission was not for you to agree with me in any way. If you do, cool. If you see things, kind of resonate with that, perfect, that's fine. But I am not your leader. You are your own leader, so figure it out for yourself. This could be used as a stepping stone, to get you started, a little catapult, whatever the case may be. Take it as you see fit, whether it's all or just bits and pieces, or just one sentence, one small idea from this. Willingly, it reached you. Saw there's a couple of people, I think there's like up to 4 concurrent viewers at one time in here. Yeah, I see it on the back end now, so hopefully it reached at least one of y'all, or if it didn't reach and have an impact on any of y'all, I'm totally fine with that. Hopefully, willingly, someone who catches this replay, whether it's tomorrow, a year from now, 10 years from now, whatever the case may be, the mission will be completed. It will be fulfilled in the sense of me reaching people in order to make them start to think, start to question everything. Because, I'll never know for sure. Maybe after I pass, and who knows what goes on afterwards. Maybe you'll get the full realization and truth and the whole shebang when we pass. But as far as now, like I don't know. I don't know. You don't know. We don't know. Nobody knows. So some people may think, oh, you're just thinking empty thoughts. You'll never get anywhere with what you're thinking about. Trust me. Once again, I beat the game. I won. This form, the way that I'm able to think and see things, it's like so beyond the comparisons of life that a typical surface dwelling human would present to me, you know, like materialistic shit that I don't give a fuck about. So people, oh, if you beat the game, how come you're not living in a mansion? How come you don't have a Ferrari? How come you're not a millionaire? I don't give a fuck about any of that shit, because it's not going with me when I leave here. So I tell people all the time, I dress like a fucking cartoon. Like, and you know how cartoons, they got the same outfit on every episode? I don't wear the same thing every day, but the basis of what I wear is either a white or a black t-shirt. If it's cold, I'm 99% of the time have some sweats on. And if it's hot, I either have some sweat shorts. So when it's cold, sweatpants. But when it's hot, it's either sweat shorts or ball shorts, you know, basketball shorts. That's like the basis, the core 99.9999% of the time, that's what you're gonna see me in. And when it's really cold, sweatsuit, the hoodie matching sweatpants. Simple. And you know, there's a saying that, and you can look around at the people who are multi millionaires and billionaires. Like Steve Jobs, for example, when he would do he was known for the black turtleneck, the blue jeans, and the athletic, you know, the training sneakers, whatever, running shoes for his presentations. He was just known for that. So a simple, wasn't worried about what designer am I gonna wear, what kind of flashy belt and accessories and jewelry, and what are the newest kicks that I can buy, and for what? It's not gonna be here. It's not going with you when you leave. It's, you know, sneakers you pay $3,000, $5,000 for, Travis Scott's and all this shit. It's like, it's not gonna last your whole lifetime even. Probably maybe get, especially with the quality of shoes, how it's been going to shit over the years, the quality of the leathers and the stitching, glues and all that, probably be lucky to get 10 years out of the sneakers, and then it's gone. But you know, instead of like, somebody just gave me $5,000 right now, said go do what you want with it, I'm making that make money for me. Either that, like some type of investment, so that I can reach because now again, the materialism shit I don't care for, but I know that it takes money in this system, in this world, in order to support more life. So when I talked about how I could reincarnate, have children, you know, not all hope is lost. One of the things is that it's going to take, you know, relative to where I'm at now in life, it's going to take an exorbitant amount of money for me to reach that very, very, very specific set of circumstances in order for me to even consider having children, reincarnating. So, but the fact that I'm comfortable with not reincarnating is not a sense of urgency for me to like become a multi-millionaire so that I can pick up, relocate somewhere out of this fucked up place and go somewhere like remote, peaceful, silent, healthy, all natural foods, easily accessible, clean air, positive people. Like, that is the only way I would ever. And there's more to it. There's a lot more to it, but that's like the little gist of the circumstances I would need to reach, completing the game, but at 100%, in order for me to bring life into this world, for me to reincarnate. So again, I'm cool. It very well may be the end of the road here, for at least my branch, carrying on the name and all that stuff. And I'm fully comfortable with it. I know, it's crazy how I have a family, mainly on my father's side. Whenever I would come around different events and stuff, always come up to me, especially when there's like a new additions to the family and stuff like that. Like, ever since I would say mid to late 20s, a little more on the later side, it would be, oh, when are you planning, or when you're up next, or all these different things. Like, do you have a woman, or all these different, it's like, the fuck do you care? I talk to you, like, I see you like twice a year, and that's the same shit. You ask the same questions every time I see you. For what? There's no type of like productivity coming out of the conversation. It just points to gossip about, run along and gossip. And it's never anything constructive, never anything conducive to elevating yourself, So I keep it very short with people when I speak. You'll know that something with meaning is being said. I don't do small talk. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? What's your plan? What are you doing in life? What do you do for a living? I live, motherfucker. That's it. I live peacefully, manifesting my reality each day. Like if I tell you, oh, I'm a music producer, I design, print, press, and ship clothing. I do music. I do a plethora of things. I'm an author. If I tell you that, what is it doing for you? How's your life better? How's your life improved if I tell you what's going on in my life? That's why I don't ask people shit. I don't give a fuck what's going on in your life, what you're planning, where you're going, who you're with, what you're doing tomorrow, what you ate for breakfast. Doesn't do shit for me. And that's where a lot of people are so lost, because they're not using their own mind to create things, bring things into existence. All people's lives, for a great majority of this world, all people's lives revolve around is consumption, gossip. And gossip is a form of consumption. You're consuming, you're just taking in, just running off with it. So I'm just gonna say consumption. Like, that's what the world revolves around. Consumption and comfortability. So many people who are just comfortably consuming everything, just here, take this, learn this, this is it, this is that, this is this, you have to know this is what it is, this is what it is for you, this is how your life is gonna be, and just accept it. It's absolutely mind-boggling, and that's where I see a lot of people as not being real. Like, that's how you live your life, you accept your life to be, and fall into just working, jumping on a hamster wheel day in, day out, thinking this is the life. I'm living great because I'm making X amount of money and living in a 10,000 square foot house, and all the while you're waking up every day fulfilling another person's creation. That's what you're doing. That's why it's so great. You're so ahead in life. You're such a winner. You're doing it. Going, fulfilling another person's creation, another person's dream, another person's legacy, so that you can die off and be known as an employee all your life. You're such a great employee all your life. Oh, so great. And then 5 generations from now, you're fucking forgotten because you did nothing really with your life. You didn't create anything of significance. All you did was be controlled, being manipulated, be puppeted around, given rules, given instructions, given tasks. Pathetic, if you ask me. But yeah, that's, the life of a bot. Just pre-programmed, just taking the orders, the commands being written for you, being spoken to you. That's literally what a robot does. People do not understand, like, when they took the term NPC, non-playable character, or a bot, right? Like, they're thinking bleep, work, beep, burp, beep, beep, a metal fucking Tin Man robot. No, it's not that. It's not the literal robot. That's not what it is. Or it's calling people zombies, NPCs, deadheads, bots. All those are just simply terms for people who don't live their life, people who do not shape any aspect of their life for themselves. Everything is given, everything's pre-programmed, everything is coded. You could become the developer of your own code, of your own system. I'm showing living proof. Again, if you go back, if you order my book, if you go and read this, what I presented here tonight is like an addition to this. Yeah. The link is in the description. Read my book. Get the full, clear understanding of where all of this stemmed from, and definitely be able to make deeper, make more sense of your life and gain more control of your life. So yeah, I think on that note, I am finished here for the night. I appreciate those who came through for the presentation. And yeah. Oh, for a quick note, if anyone out there sees this part and cares and knows of things I do, I haven't been live lately, haven't done any sound bath live streams lately, because for the past week or so, I had a major adjustment in my spine. If y'all don't know, I've been rehabilitating myself and healing myself from various spinal injuries all throughout, from cervical to sacrum, and everything in between. So different rolling devices and soaks and different salts and heat and acupressure, all types of stuff. So I got a major adjustment, and it released tension that was like, I had a long standing knot in my back that ran like the length of the muscle. It's the ilium, forget the name of it, but it runs basically from like your rib cage all the way down, like right near your spine, just you have on both sides, down to your sacrum. So once I got the adjustment and that muscle was finally released, I had the worst case of guarding. That's when your body like contracts and does different things in certain ways, and stops you from moving in certain ways in order to protect itself, to protect you. So I went from being able to sit cross-legged for an hour or more and not getting up for breaks or anything, or being able to sit here like I am now for over 2 hours, I was able to, if some of you may have seen my flexibility, my range of motion this past week, I went from being able to like put my palms on the floor, bending over, just bending straight over, like trying to touch your toes, to not being able, like, let's say this is my body, this is my waist. So I used to be able to go down and touch my toes. My wrist doesn't bend all the way down, but you get the idea. I was able to bend over, touch my toes, and beyond, like be able to push my palms to the floor. This past week, again, this is me standing. I wasn't able to go further than this. That was it. From here to here, here to here. I couldn't even bend to a 90 degree, like just straight bend over. Nope. I was fucked up. To put it nice and clear and simple. But it wasn't an injury. It was an actual healing process that was necessary. So it took about 5 to 7 days, but now I'm back. I have a little bit of soreness and everything because this muscle knot I've had for something I've been dealing with probably over 10 years now. And going to therapists and sports specialists, all different things, never fully worked it out. Steroid injection in my spine, all types of stuff. Thank you, Pastel Pain. I appreciate you. Sincerely, thank you. So yeah, it was a very, very tough, but full of appreciation, full of excitement, just full of optimism time for me. So I do plan on getting back to the streams here soon. I do want to do get some sound baths going. I'm not all the way there to where I think I'll be able to last all that long, because my left side has been locked up and just fucked for so long. There's a lot of like deep, like slight soreness, but it's like just enough to irritate me. Like right now, I'm starting to feel it. It's like increasing more and more and more. So I know that, and I'm just sitting regular, like legs straight, to have my hips open and my groin and legs crossed and bent and all that. I think I'm gonna have to just take it easy a little longer before the sound baths come back. But I will be coming back before the sound baths. I will be coming back live with some music production, mandalas. I haven't done a mandala stream yet, drawing mandalas, chill vibes with the lo-fi beats, and some gaming. I'm looking to get into retro gaming. So anyone out there is into Super Nintendo, PlayStation 1, Sega Genesis, things from that era, I have a bunch of games on my iPad here that I can play from. Also may sprinkle in some Fortnite. I don't know. It's a very love-hate relationship, and right now I'm in the realm of hate for Fortnite, so I don't know when that's gonna come back, but it might come back sooner or later, because I did see that there's been another update. I think they're doing like weekly updates or something, so we'll see. But it's always like the gimmicks in the game that get me. Anything that's outside of the firing weapons, the guns, anything that's outside of that, like shooting bullets, I just can't get jiggy with it. Just can't. And when I die from those gimmicks that are thrown into the game, I don't count it as a loss. So yeah. But it's just it's painful to be pretty good at a game. I'll say I'm gonna be humble. Pretty good at Fortnite. You know, I'm typically top 5, like almost, I would say 95% of the games I play in. But then like to reach the last 2 or last 3, and some motherfucker just comes zipping through the air on a wind wheel and flying, and then they just launch something at me, some type of laser, or I get like scorpion hooked. Get over here. In Fortnite? What? In Fortnite? Like somebody hook me and launch me into the air, and I'm just falling down with my weapon in my hand, can't do anything about it, and just splat, just dead. Like, no. No, I can't get jiggy with it. Thank you, Pastel. Yes, Zelda, I've never in my life played through a Zelda game. I might have played like all of 25 seconds of a Zelda game. Maybe. So that is something that I've been considering, playing a Zelda game. I want to see what the highest rated one is. I always was interested in the one for Nintendo that came with the gold cartridge. I think I actually had it. Like, well, my family I think had that, but I never played it for some reason. I was just like, Mario was my thing as far as early days, and then I got into Pokemon, so maybe that was like from Mario to Pokemon. There's some things in between, but as far as like that look and feel of gaming, I know Zelda, the ones that I'm familiar with, have the top-down look of Pokemon that Pokemon used to, like on the Game Boys and all those systems. So I think maybe that's what it was. It was just the simple fact that I found something that filled the space for that look, that top down, you know, walking around RPG, all types of styles. So, cause I was locked into Pokemon. But yeah, I definitely have the interest for Zelda, for checking that out. I'm gonna do some research. That's one of the things I've been doing, going on YouTube and looking for like what's the top rated SNES games, top rated Game Boy games of all time, and going through different, you know, because everyone has a different opinion. So I've seen like 5 of the top 10, top 15 SNES games, and I'll go through and try to see if any of them are similar as far as like the top 5, which ones are which ones repeat across the board from different channels, and I kind of been going with those suggestions. I do have a bunch of games that I used to play that I definitely want to get back to. Like I had the Michael Jackson game for Sega Genesis on my iPad. I used to love that game. I have the Aladdin game for Sega. I have a bunch of Sega games, Sony PlayStation Portable games. I have some like SOCOM. I think I still have SOCOM, or Medal of Honor, Call of Duty, Spider-Man, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mario. There's a bunch on here. Legend of Zelda, Super Nintendo. Yeah, I'll definitely. That's the one that I know. Like, I think there's another one, like something with the name Link in it, because I like that's the main character's name. Something about Link's something, I don't know. But the only Zelda game I know the name of is just The Legend of Zelda. That's the only Zelda game I know. But I know there's been a bunch of them with different names. So I'm probably gonna lean towards the one that I know and check that out. So yeah, we'll see. But I do look forward to it, because man, I came to a realization, these new games, they are not made for fun. They're not. They're the core purpose and interest that the developers and the higher ups and all that have is money. They don't care about your fun. They care about microtransactions in this day and age. That's all it's about. You know, the quality of games, like glitches and lag and all types of stuff that go on, like assets, what is it, packet loss, data, all that stuff. It's just garbage. Like, what happened to the days where you could just pop in a disc or load something up, cartridge, and it just works? There's times where I do the blow method or cleaning out the cartridge, the gold, the connectors, whatever. We had our forms of glitching and different things, but it wasn't anything like what it is now. Gaming now is garbage. Like, as a whole, just like sports, garbage. Like, there's so many things that are on a decline. Like, and you can see that everything with a beginning has an end. Like, the heyday, the peak of sports, the peak of gaming, peak of music, peak of entertainment, all of it is over. It's just a decline. So, in my opinion, but I can give reason and logic behind it all, like, as I've been giving, glitches and all these different things, microtransactions, and it's like, I've been testing the waters here and there. I haven't played any of these games more than like 5 minutes, but just getting into one of these old games and just being able to not have to think and just be able to enjoy. It's just so refreshing. So refreshing. So, definitely looking forward to it. But with that, I'm not gonna stay any longer. 2 hours, 15 minutes. Wow. I was not expecting it to go on this long, especially this extra little bit of dialogue at the end here, but everything happens for a reason. It's meant to be. It's meant to have that flow going, the flow state. So, on that note, I'll call it here, make it official, relax, maybe watch a few episodes of this show, Orphan Black. Black Orphan. Sound kind of wrong. But Orphan Black is the name. Black Orphan. Oh man. But yeah, great series so far that my sister suggested for me, dealing with cloning. So Sneap, I prefer it before. Yep. Me too. The days where multiplayer was going over your friends or family's house, or having them come over to your house to play some split screen, GoldenEye 007 or Mario Kart or something like that, and having that in-person real connection. They do, you have your voice chat and things like that these days, but there's nothing like what it was. It's just so much separation, dilution, bugs, glitches, just it's crazy. Like, I actually I have a Xbox One S. I never upgraded to the Xbox One. What is the Xbox Series? Or I don't even know what the current Xbox is called. So I never updated to that, never upgraded to the PS5. Had zero interest. And I've had my Xbox sitting, and like for months now, I haven't played on my Xbox. So I was like, you know what? Let me get rid of this. It is basically a paperweight. And one thing that I do, I keep all of my boxes when it comes to technology. So I get my Xbox pristine, clean, wiped down, use the Mr. Clean Magic Eraser. Not that it was filthy or dirty or anything even close to it, but I'm just the type that I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get rid of this, go trade it in. let me just put it in a bag and take it how it is. I did a whole full clean down, wipe down. I still have the wrapping inside the box from the console, original and everything, original tape on the wrap and everything. So I put it all in there, took it down to GameStop, told them just cash. I know I'm probably not going to get much for it, maybe $40, $50, $60 or something like that. But it's the simple fact that I don't need it. I don't have a care for it. I don't have a want for it. It's basically a paperweight. I might as well get something out of it, you know? So I took it there to GameStop the other night, but for some reason it wasn't finished updating, even though I had to update it in order to factory reset it. So when I took it there, it was coming up on the TV that it wasn't finished updating. So I was just like, all right, whatever. But when I took it and he's like, man, you still got, he's like, this box is perfect. He opens it up. He's like, bro, you still got the wrapping for this thing? He's like, damn, you kept this in great condition. I'm like, and those, like, that, the acknowledgement, the appreciation, it's so fulfilling. You know, even though he wasn't the one who bought it, who it was going to be for him or anything, but just that level of excitement and appreciation for a little gesture. Because I know, you know, whenever I buy something that's of technology, I may not have it forever and may go off onto to someone else. So I want the next person to have as much of the original experience unboxing whatever it is that I had. So that's why it's very important for me to have a space allocated for all my boxes, for all the devices that I buy, you know, just for that, just in case I want to get rid of it at some point. You're gonna get the best used equipment from me, like hands down. Can guarantee you that with full confidence, that anyone who gets something that used to be mine in the form of technology, electronics, you're gonna get perfect condition, used perfect condition. You know, they say used, good condition, very good, no, pristine, used pristine condition. So yeah, like when it comes to like phones and stuff, I don't get protection plan. I don't get protection plans on anything, replacement plans or anything like that, because I'm so careful. I haven't dropped the phone. I put a wristband on my phone. Like if I'm that conscious. Like if I need it, if I feel like I'm gonna be active or it might slip out my pocket if I'm doing something or whatever, I'll throw a wristband like right into my, like thread it through my case at the bottom, the speaker section, so that I can have it secured to me. Like I take very cautious and very caring of my of the things that I have, you know, because again, it could be that it could go to someone else someday. And typically, you know, when, especially for games and systems and stuff like that, people, like, this is the old generation, the last generation of gaming, this Xbox I'm getting rid of. More than likely, it's gonna go to someone who, like, what I've seen in the past is that parents will buy their children, you know, they'll go in and get the last generation, because whether it's the new one's too expensive or they don't trust their children with something like that yet, or whatever the case may be, it's typically a younger child that I've seen through my years of GameStop interactions that have been given, or, you know, bought, who parents have bought them an older system. So that's what I'm always thinking of, really. Like, not that it's just going to the next person, but that this could be going to a child, you know, Maybe one day. I have right now the latest version of the iPad Air, but who knows? Maybe 5 years from now, 3 years, 4 years from now, whatever, I might, get rid of it. I have the box, I have the original wrapping, everything. There's no scrap. Anything that I get, I put into a case. I have a nice, very nice case for this device. Got screen protectors I put on my devices, all of that, because it's very important. Just paying it forward, passing things on to have that quality intact, to give the experience to the next person, instead of just I don't have the box anymore, threw that away, let me go grab a black garbage bag or a grocery store bag and throw everything in here and just give it to them. Then it's just like, damn. And now when someone buys it, the employees, they usually have to go and find, or they'll have boxes made for like console trade-ins and things like that, or they have to use some other kind of box, whatever the case may be, where it's just like, man, that kind of sucks for the next person. I'm going off on tangents and rants, but yeah, I just be flowing, man. Sometimes I just be flowing, not knowing, just flowing, just going and flowing. But on that note, I'm out of here. Again, Orphan Black, you can check it out. Very, very good if you're into science, cloning, drama, and stuff like that. Also, The Lazarus Effect, if you're into time manipulation. That's another great series I've watched lately. They're both on Netflix, unless you have alternate devices or ways to watch. There was another series, I think that no, I did not say your fucking name. Talking to my phone. I have an Apple phone, so when I said series, there's not even more than one of you. I said it with an S. So why are you even activating? If anything, you shouldn't have activated unless there was 2 iPhones in front of me. Then there would be 2 of you. That's like me saying, like, I know someone one person named Susie. Hey, Susies. Hey, Susies. Like, there's 2 of them. Times when smartphones aren't so smart. Gotta love it. But yeah. On that note, and also, as far as the think tank goes, there may be more. Possibly. Again, I could go into the whole, like, deeper into the creation theory, which has like various creation, like subsets of the theories. So that's like the most, I just know so many people are not gonna get it, and it's very it's a very significant, like, I know there's gonna be a point of contention. There's gonna be a lot of just not grasping of the concept. Now, I'm not saying for everyone, like, some people may get some of it, some people might get all of it, but I just know, like, the state of the world, again, being an observer, just sitting back, watching, observing, just monitoring, I know people aren't ready to fathom outside of what they've been given as far as creation. So yeah, well, I don't know, we'll see. We shall see. And I call it a think tank also because a lot of my ideas, concepts, theories come when I'm in the shower or taking a soak. The water, man, it's full of information. You know that water can hold information. So, yep. Another thing to think about, explore, and question, and I forgot what I was gonna say. Another thing to think about, explore, question, and bring all to your own realization, your own reality, your own definition of your reality. So that being said, I thank you all, whether you were here live, whether you see this in a replay in the replay format. Thank you all. Much respect, much love, much appreciation. On that note, see you again soon. Peace and love.